That tyre, that right rear on Lyndon Watson's car. Wow, there you go. Jared Campione.
Oh, that was a bit close to call. Some new underwear there for someone.
Exactly. Looks like Adam Brewer is having a lunge under Chris Lewis-Williams there into turn one. He loves that move, Adam Brewer, and he got it done for a half a moment. Tyre power, Benella car there is the reigning champion. Already
elbows out between Daniel and Andy. Oh, fantastic, Andy. Wow, this.
Here we go. And they're away.
Rough.
Looks like Hall got a much better start there, by the way, than Reynolds, but they're all away cleanly, thank goodness, as we head down into turn one here at Sandown, streaming down this long straight here at Sandown. You can see that it's Andrew Hall who's going to lead the field into turn one.
We're missing Andrew Tudor in the
We
Audi.
are missing Andrew Tudor already in the Audi R8. So
I wonder what's happened there.
He's had some issues off the line there by the looks of it, but
it's a real pity. Look, this series has been great run by Andy Hall. Really dominated by the Porsches. Be great to see the Audi out there, but gee, don't know what happened.
Exactly, and they've let the 944 category get away as well, and it's Mark Fedino who leads that field just ahead of Jamie Westaway in the yellow and black car. Cam Bella, the number 55, four-time champion, sits in third. Ads Brewer, the Black Widow Spider there in the black car, coming under real pressure from Mark Torbitts in the yellow car, and Chris Lewis-Williams in the tyre power car also vying for position. They're really going hard. Looks like they've let them get away a little bit later than the Cup cars up the front. So there's effectively two big classes, and that's not unusual in racing. You're going to have two classes of cars, so you're going to get differences in speeds, but effectively two races in one. So coming into the fast Dandenong Road there, and it's Mark Fedino who leads in the sidling car, shuts the door there on Jamie Westaway in the yellow and black car. Cam Bella slots in third, and Adam Brewer sits in there just behind in fourth. Ads Brewer took pole position this morning, so he'll be keen to jump up the field and see how we're getting on with the front of the field.
Right, we've got Andy being chased by Daniel, which we thought might happen. Steve Sluger's doing well too to come in third, and Andrew Smith coming in fourth. Peter Lawrence for his first race out. Not doing too bad there.
Absolutely. Very challenging place, Sandown. Of course, Sandown can bite. It's effectively two long straights with some corners in the middle, but you've really got to get the slipstream and the power down these long straight, and that's exactly what Jamie Westaway is doing in the yellow car there, as he takes full advantage of the slipstream and will lead that field into turn one. Slides the car slightly wide. Mark Fedino there in the blue and white sidling car tucks up right behind him as well, but that's not too bad, because if they get the drive out of turn four, which is this corner here, this is what they're all looking for. It's such an important corner at Sandown. You've got to get the drive out of this corner because you've got the long straight all the way up the back straight at Sandown, and this is where you're going to get the most power out of the 944 category.
What speeds are those 944s hitting in the back straight there, Jack?
You're probably touching on 200 k's an hour as they come up just over the rise there, and you're in top gear. You're into fifth gear there. Some guys, a lot of guys actually, will drop it back to fourth as they go through this corner, because they want less work to do when they get down the bottom here, which is what we call Dandenong Road. They want less work to do because that's back to third. You're hard on the brakes. Fedino pretty wide as he tries to get the power out of that corner there. That's hard on the brakes, so you'll then go up to fourth gear through here and through the last couple of corners as you head again onto the long straight here at Sandown. The number 37 there, Chris Lewis-Williams, he is the reigning champion in the tyre power car, and he is now starting to put some real pressure on the black and red car of Adam Brewer. So that'll be a really interesting challenge. The guys, the top 4 or 5 guys here, I can tell you, were covered by less than half a second in qualifying, so you can see how much this category has closed up in the pace in the last year or two. And the number 55 of Cam Bella there, of course, 4-time champion in the category, so knows how to win a race and knows how to win a championship. And you can see how close it is with the top 5 cars there as they head into turn 4, and again it's a critical corner almost on the racetrack here at Sandown. Get the drive out of this corner, get close to the wall and drive it up the long back straight. Speaking of times though, speaking of speeds, compared to the Cup cars, they're looking at...
These guys are looking at the mid-twos, so coming down those first and back straights, it's hairy, and then coming into turn 2, 3 and 4, you've got to make sure you've got enough speed out of turn 1 to get you through those without bouncing the bum around too much.
Exactly.
Got Daniel Reynolds, he's just posted a 1:13.6 over Andy, 1:13.9, so this is on.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like this.
Absolutely. Completely different cars, effectively. You've got a front-engine car, which is the 944, both Porsches, of course, and we all know globally how good Porsche cars are. But you look at the Cup cars there, they've got the engines in the rear, they've got bigger tyres, they're slightly smaller in length. So there's they've got a big aero on the back there. You can see the huge wing on the back of those Cup cars there. So totally different cars.
This is Daniel's first time in a 991 competitively, so he's come out of a 997. He's loving the flappy paddles, and he's presenting in the India race, which is great to see.
And that's
in the Shelter Real Estate Porsche.
Absolutely.
Shout out to Zaylee Reynolds, his wife.
Absolutely. Yep. And you can see the speed difference probably there already. We're all only on lap 3 or so, and already the guys are starting to catch the rear of the 944 category as well. But there are no slouches in the 944 category, that's for sure. I mean, as I said, they're hitting well above 200 kilometres an hour as we head up the long straight.
Just in the bottom of the camera, we've got Sal there, 16 years old in the Toyota 86. This is a bit of a warm-up round for him going into...
Hello, bit of a nudge there, bit of fighting between Chris Lewis-Williams on the right there and Adam Brewer, who's just had the nose cut off there by
the elbows out.
Lewis-Williams. Absolutely, yeah, it's already on. Round 1. And as you mentioned there in the Toyota 86 there.
Yeah, Jack, we've got a 15-year-old Miley Miller today. She's not out on track. I'd like to know what happened there. But we've also got Sal Imbrogno, 16, using this as a bit of a warm-up for Nationals and scholarship. It's great to see them out. He's had 8. He started at 8.
Amazing.
3 years dirt, 3 years bitumen. There he is in the centre.
Yep, absolutely.
Doing well. He's hoping for a 26 today.
Absolutely.
And
so
he's in the 28s.
It's another form of car again. That's the
Toyota 86.
Toyota 86 car as well. So very similar actually in weight and specs to a 944 and pace probably as well. But I'm not sure what you were doing when you were 15 or 16, Em. But I'll tell you, when I was 15 or 16, to be out mixing it with these kind of guys and these kind of level of drivers is certainly a hell of an achievement.
I was being kicked out of Hamilton for taking too many photos of rear wings.
Exactly. I won't go into too many details what I was doing at 15 or 16, but I wasn't mixing it with 911 Cup cars and veterans of the racing industry at one of the toughest racetracks in Australia. So,
oh, look, we've caught them now. So here we've got the 2 991s.
Absolutely.
They've caught up to the mid-pack of the 44s.
They have, and they're already starting to catch those fields. And you'll see this is where the Cup cars will come into their own. It's the long straights here at Sandown. It's just they'd be hitting 240, 250 up the back straight there. So
yeah, but your brake markers are totally different to the 4.4s. The lines are different to the 4.4s. So the dodging that's got to go on, you've got to have a fair bit of skill to get through this pack.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's a weight difference, weight transference as well. Cup cars, the 944 cars really need to be flowed. You can't be too hard on the brakes. So he's already nabbed him there as well. And it's good to see all the guys sort of keeping in their own stretch of territory, I guess, as well.
Well, look, this is Steve Sluger's 3rd year racing.
Yeah.
He's had something like 12 years in club events. It's great to see him out. He's doing so much better than his first year round, so be happy with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Daughter Kathleen going into karting. It's in the blood.
Absolutely. It's sensational to keep the family tradition going, isn't it? Joey Lasagna there, Joey Cullen, just coming under a bit of pressure there as well. You can see Tony Westaway in the orange car and Tony Andrzejewski there, who's great to see him back in the category, the number 27 car there. So he's coming under a bit of pressure there as well. 6 minutes to go. So
it's worth noting that the production sports cars are being sponsored by Sven Burkhardt's company. That's Callis. I've got to get this right because it's a long name. Callis Kenny Intellects Lawyers, hoping to have Sven back later in the year after knee surgery. Be great to see him.
Absolutely. And speaking of sponsors, we've got to send a very big shout out to LK Diesel Service, and we thank them very much for coming on board for the Porsche 944 category this year. It's great to have them, and they're adorned on all the cars, as you can see on the nose of all the cars. So we love our sponsors, and we thank them very much for coming on board, and we wish them a very good year as well.
Sal Imbrogno in the mix for the 4.4s.
Absolutely. Coming under real pressure there. Now here is an excellent example of the pace of all 3 cars. All 3 cars literally side by side. As you can see, the Cup car there will envelop them as they come down this long straight. Adam Brewer there in the 944 just overtook the Toyota 86 there, but it's getting the power down coming out of those corners as well and getting to learn the tracks, getting to know the tracks, flowing the car. You've really got 3 different categories of car affected right across the board. So It's going to be a
Cup
challenge.
cars, they can catch anything under braking, so it's really challenging for them to be in the mix coming into a fast turn like that.
Yeah, exactly. And this is where you've really got to be aware of other drivers all around you, and it's great to see everyone's keeping relatively sensible, I guess. There's Mark Torbert's there in the Pipecraft car. We send a big shout out to Tim Wolf, who's actually moved up to the Porsche Michelin GT3 Challenge Series this year, so he's concentrating on that. And
that's a great point that you make. It's worth noting that these guys are owner drivers in the sports car category, so keeping it clean is actually keeping you on track for the next round.
It's a long weekend and it's a long round, absolutely. And there's 3 races this weekend, and we're looking forward to all of them. So yeah, there's got to be
a commitment to sensibility as well as racing.
Some form of it. You would hope so, and you would think, exactly. It's not always easy when the red mist comes down and you get out on the racetrack, of course. But yeah, it's a long weekend, and this place can bite. It may not look too technically challenging, Sandown, but I can tell you firsthand it can definitely bite, and especially this corner here, as Richard Howe, King Richard, as we call him, the veteran of the Porsche 944 category in the number 8 car there, coming under quite a bit of pressure from Jared Campione. Again, one of the category sponsors there in Campione Electrics, really on the rear of King Richard, through the kink there under the bridge at Penrite. Want to get hard on the gas here, drop it back 1 gear there, hard on the brakes, flick it in, turn it right, turn it left, and get real good drive out of this corner, because this corner, last corner on the racetrack, effectively, turn 12. Turn 13 is considered a corner, but is a kink and flat in these cars. Leads onto this long straight here at Sandown.
Gee, it's great to see these guys. It's actually really nice to see these cars that are so evenly matched. You get to see the difference in driving styles and racecraft. I actually like seeing it. It's a little bit like the Excels. It's very even field, whereas our guys, you've got some real differences in the cars apart from all the 991 GT3 Cups.
It's a shame to see Andy Tudor there, as looks like he's either dropped out or had an issue there, I would say, in the Audi R8. Andy Tudor has of course come straight out of the Porsche 944 category and moved up into the sports cars category as well. But so it's a real mix of cars and a real mix of drivers. And great to see Michael Westaway there in the number 45, back in the category again, just sitting behind who we call the boss, Tony Andreski, who's sitting in the beautiful number 27 944 machine as well. But up the front of the field, you've still got, just going through the 944 category, you've still got Mark Verdino there, who's really trying to catch up to Jamie Westaway. Jamie Westaway is a multiple champion, 2-time champion in the category. Real close battle here between the Black Widow Spider and the Baron of Benalla, the current reigning champion. Chris Lewis-Williams there in the number 37 tyre power car. Number 3 there, Adam Brewer, staying in close proximity. So great to see these guys having a really hard-fought battle. You do want to get close to that wall. It's very dramatic, that camera shot at Sandown, but you want to get the drive off that corner because it does lead on to this long straight.
Daniel Reynolds has still got the lead in the production sports, but I feel like we've got Andy Hall in the pits. I'm not sure what's going on there. So Steve Sluger's second, doing quite well, and Andrew Smith, Peter Lawrence in 4th, and Robin Bailey, 72 years young, in the 370Z.
Okay, absolutely. Yep, it looks like Andy Hall is dropping down the list, so he may have an issue there, which is a shame to see. Andrew Hall, very experienced campaigner, knows these cars, and very highly rated race car driver, so not sure what's happened.
Andy's got a lot of... Andy is Cup Car Engineering, obviously, and he's running 6 cars this weekend. We had a retirement yesterday. David came to some grief just before Dandenong Road, but he's running 5 other cars over there.
Absolutely, can happen. And again, just getting back to the 944 category, you can see how close this racing has really become now, with the top 5 guys all separated by less than a second, half a second as well. Looks like Adam Brewer is having a lunge under Chris Lewis-Williams there into turn 1. He loves that move, Adam Brewer, and he got it done for a half a moment. But then the veteran, the reigning champion, and a guy who knows all about how to win a race, Chris Lewis-Williams in the number 37, newly liveried number 37 in the tyre power car there. The Baron of Benalla, as we call him, has just shot back under brakes again under turn 1. And again, they drive it up the long back straight, heading behind Cam Balla, who sitting, of course, behind Mark Verdino, and Jamie Westaway leading out in front in the yellow car.
There's Daniel Reynolds, race leader. It's only 23 seconds between him and Steve Sluger, so I'd say it's a safe bet that Daniel's going to take this out. It's a pity Andy Hall seems to have retired. And Andrew Smith in 3rd, Peter Lawrence in 4th, which is a great result for first day out.
Looks like last lap, as far as we can see. Yes, it is. We just had confirmation. It is last lap there. So it'll be Reynolds who will bring home the field. Daniel Reynolds, and he's been the class of the field, you'd have to say, with a 1:13.4 as one of his fastest laps. That is certainly not hanging around. So with a couple of corners to go, it'll be Daniel Reynolds, who we imagine will be just catching the final Toyota 86 there as he comes through the final corner here at Sandown. But for race 1 of the 2024 season, to open his account, it's Daniel Reynolds who will take the checkered flag in the sports car category as well. He will come home, I would imagine, just in front of Sluga, still going on in the 944 category. Still hard and fast racing out the back there. As we see, again, Chris Lewis-Williams coming under real pressure from Adam Brewer. They both want to get their titles off to a great start, so they're really fighting hard to get this win. But the yellow car of Jamie Westaway is
Peter
certainly
Lawrence,
leading the field.
The centre screen, we've got him coming home in 4th.
Exactly.
That's another great result for the M4 GT4.
Exactly. Beautiful
First
looking car
out.
too as well.
Oh,
So
the livery is fantastic, and they've got another one on the water coming for his son Jacob. They're going to go into GT4 this year.
and his first race, I believe.
First race.
So that's a sensational achievement there, and congratulations, and we wish him all the best with both his racing career and of course this weekend. Cam Bella there in the green, or Aqua number 55, 4-time champion, just sitting in 3rd. He can't quite get it done against Mark Verduno there, which is a great result for Verduno. So that'll see him coming home in 2nd. But it is the 2-time champion, Jamie Westaway, who comes home and leads the field and takes victory in race 1 of the 944 Challenge category. Mark Verdino home in 2nd. Cam Bella completes the podium, home in 3rd, ahead of Chris Lewis-Williams, and Adam Brewer will round out the top 5. Very fantastic and close racing there in the 944 category. So as the field continues to flow through.
We've got a playback here. Robin Bailey in the 370 said,
Jared Campione.
Oh, that was a bit close to call. Some new underwear there for someone.
Exactly. Trading a little bit of paint going through turn 6, the fastest corner on the racetrack here at Sandown. So
It is racing.
it is racing, and rubbing's racing, as they say, Emma. So fantastic to have you on board. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Jack.
for
Thanks for having me.
the opening race. And we will now head back to the legend of the State Series, and that is a man by the name of Darren Smith. Thanks very much. Speak to see you soon.
Emma, thank you so much. Your first ever race calling on the State Series, and we didn't just do it for PA, it's gone right around the world. Thank you so much for joining us. How'd you enjoy that?
Stage fright. That's all I can say. Stage fright. I know what's going on in my head, but it couldn't come out the mouth. So
You've done
sorry
well.
about
It's
that.
great working with a legend like Jack Atlee, though, isn't it?
Oh, the energy's fantastic.
It is
Love it.
great.
Love it.
Emma,
you so
thank
much,
you so
Darren.
much. We'll welcome you back, of course, tomorrow for 2 more sports car races, and it's been great to have you here.
Can't wait.
The obvious is it's great to have a female voice calling car racing. It's fantastic.
Even if I'm not that good.
Oh, well, we'll get you there. We'll get you there.
We will.
2 years
Thank
ago,
you
Jack
so
didn't know
much.
how to speak English, so...
He's come a long way. He has, really. Yeah.
He has. We'll be back with more. We have got plenty coming your way. The big bangers, the sports sedans, are on track next. Back in a moment.
And they're away.
And they're off.
Looks like Reynolds got a great start there off the line. Not a lot of wheel spin. One of the Toyota 86s
yep.
did miss the start a little bit there.
Andy
but
Tudor has slipped in behind Andy Hall, now in behind Steve Sluger. Got a good start. So did Robin Bailey. Wow,
Yeah.
in that 370.
Fantastic. So you'll see Reynolds there will take the lead into turn 1. Looks like Sluger's still in behind.
Right on him.
And away we go for race 2 with the Porsche 944 category as well. They'll stream down this long front straight as well.
This is the matchup I've been wanting. Daniel and Andy Hall. Daniel Reynolds, I should say, and Andy Hall.
Unbelievable start by Andy Hall. You can see there in the Cup car. As we look at the 944 field streaming through turn 1, Jamie Westaway, the 2-time champion, takes the lead into turns 1, 2, and now into turn 3, just ahead of Mark Verdino there. Cam Bella, as we were yesterday, 1st, 2nd and 3rd. Cam Bella in the Aqua number 55 with Chris Lewis-Williams right on his bumper. Now, Chris Lewis-Williams in the 37 tyre power Benella car there is the reigning champion. Already
Elbows
action.
out between Daniel and Andy. Oh, fantastic. Andy. Wow, this is the battle that we've got to watch. And Andrew Smith, Steve Sluger, it's tight. And Andy Tudor coming up behind. This is great. I'm loving this.
Unbelievable, and it's only lap 1, but what a start by Andrew Hall. You can just see the experience of this campaigner as he leads the field.
The tyres aren't even up to temp, Jack.
No, he's really not messing around today. He had alternator issues in that car yesterday, but he's definitely making up for it today, and he's an experienced campaigner, and as you can see, he will lead the field as they head round and complete lap 1.
I'm impressed with Andy Tudor because normally the Audis hang back for the first 1-2 laps while they're getting tyre temps up, but he's right in there. It's fantastic.
Andy Tudor there in the Audi, and we can see the Toyota 86 there
Sal
on
and Brogno, and there's Miley Miller. Great to see them out.
Fantastic to see Miley out on track, and we wish Miley all the best for the racing career as we now head back towards the 944 category, and can see the bright yellow car there of Jamie Westaway, two-time champion, leading the field as they go through turn 1 again. It's a drive-through corner, turn 1, so it's a fairly quick corner. They're hard on the brakes as you enter it, but very quick corner as you come through that corner. And here is the critical corner on the racetrack, turn 4, and a fantastic shot there from Blendline TV. As you can see, the car's streaming out of turn 4. They really want to get the drive out of that corner because they're going to head up this really long back straight. Here at Calder, oh my goodness, we've had a massive incident there.
Come to grief.
Joey Callock in the 1-800 Lasagna car has clipped or run into, or what's happened there, I'm not sure, haven't seen a replay yet, but that's Mark Torbitz in the yellow Pipecraft car, El Presidente, as we call him. And dare I say it, Emma, there's lasagna all over the racetrack at the moment.
You could say that, yeah.
So that's been an incident. That's a very tight corner there, turn 4. So the guys have probably got in there a little hot with cold brakes, still cold tyres. So as you mentioned there, Emma, getting everything still up to speed at the moment. We've got a fairly long race, but
we've got a few battles going on here. We've got
Andy
Smith
Hall
and Sluger. Andy Hall's just ripped a 1:13 on lap 2. That's pace.
That is.
Yeah, I think he put some fresh tyres on, and those new springs are working well for him.
Absolutely moving. They're topping out at, you'd have to say, about 240, 250 k's.
250 down that back straight and the main straight. So they're coming into about between 160, 170 going into, is it turn 5, turn 6 there?
Through there.
That's hairy, that's uncomfortable.
Absolutely. Andy Tudor there was in the Audi there. We just got a brief glimpse of Andy Tudor, and it's great to see Andy out on track. Andy came out of the Porsche 944 category and has moved into the stunning Audi R8 there, and you can see him already catching up the field. He had
he's already within a second of his best time on Friday, which is fantastic. He's got a 117, and he's just coming on. Believe it or not, those tyres are just starting to warm up, those Pirellis.
Yeah, they're a big set of Pirellis he's got, and there's 2 different tyres on these cars, as we spoke about yesterday. You've got the Michelins versus the Pirellis, I guess, and we can see, unfortunately, Mark Torbitz heading into the pits there. He might have sustained some damage in the Pipecraft car. That yellow car is normally run by Tim Wolf, who has moved up into the Porsche Michelin GT3 Challenge. Mark Verdino getting very wild and woolly out on the corner there, heading out onto the grass. He knows he's got the current reigning champion, Chris Lewis-Williams, in the number 37 tyre power car all over the back of him. And he knows he needs to get the power down coming out of turn 12. They go through turn 13 now, which is effectively a flat-out corner, so it's a kink, but...
There's Sam and Brogno down the bottom left of screen at the moment. He's doing well. When I spoke to him yesterday, he would be happy for a 126, and he's chasing it. He's done a 127 that last lap. It's fantastic. Miley Miller falling back a little bit, but she's still in there.
Real close battle there, exactly. Great to see Miley still heading around. May have some issues, but up at the battle pack in the 944. There's Adam Brewitt ducking under Cameron Balla there, the Black Widow Spider, number 3. He is really wanting to get his championship race underway today because he had a bit of an off yesterday. He got pole position yesterday morning, so he really wants to charge. Wow, look at the close racing back through the field. You've got Jimmy Mitchell, Richard Howe, and you've got the newcomers, and we welcome them to the 9-4 category. And there's El Presidente, Mark Torbitz, pulling over as a very experienced campaigner that he is, pulling over and letting the guys through. He knows there's a lap down now as well, so he's not going to get in the way of these 4 front runners as well. So awesome to see Johnny Venoris, Andrew Goldman, who's new to the category, and great to see him charging through the field. Well, already that's Lyndon Watson, unfortunately, and the Don Watson Transport pulling over. He's got issues by the looks of it as well. So never a dull moment.
No, not at all. And just watching Daniel Reynolds charge through those 944s like nothing. It is not nothing, I can tell you. In that car, that is dicey.
It is definitely not nothing. There's certainly a wide range of classes and engines and performance spread throughout this field. And speaking of fields, we We do thank our key sponsor. We'll just have a quick look at this replay. Wow, either that engine or he's got a right rear there. It may have gone down by the looks of it, but he's got certainly plenty of smoke coming out of the back of that Lyndon Watson car. Back up the front there, you've got Jamie Westaway, who continues to lead. From Mark Verdino, who was a race winner last year in the number 44 Sidelink car there. And again, he's really setting a benchmark this year. He knows he's got a quick car, and he's up against 2 or 3 very experienced campaigners there. Chris Lewis-Williams, Adam Brewer, and the 4-time champion Cam Bella.
And we've got Andy. Andy is just getting faster and faster. Andy Hall in that 991 Cup car. He's just done 1. Let's have a look.
We might have a replay here of that tyre, that right rear on Lyndon Watson's car. Wow, there you go. That's one way to flatten a tyre. You can slam into the wall at turn 4. So he's brushed the wall. It's easy to do at turn 4 because you really want to get the drive out of that corner. He's pushing very hard, but he's clipped that wall.
You do have to hug it tight.
You certainly have to hug it tight. Maybe not that tight, because that tight has
that's squeezing.
That's got rid of that tyre, absolutely. And now look at this, Andy Hall right in the mix.
We've got a menacing 991 Cup car in the mix of the 944s. Andy's pulling the 113s now. They're getting faster and faster.
And you'll see the difference there, yeah. But you've got 2 really distinct cars. You've got a front engine car, the Porsche 944, and of course the Toyota 86 just going through screen there again, compared to the rear engine car of the 911 Cup cars. They've got bigger tyres, they've got a huge big wing on the back, so a lot of aero difference between the 2 cars.
Totally.
Through the corners, they're actually similar in speed, but it's just down these long straights here at Sandown where they'll really pick up the high end and top end speed of those 911 Cup cars. That's where you'll see the difference.
Well, the Cup cars, they're the choice because they start off great, they're off the line great, they come up to temp really quickly. They've got so much support in Victoria and Australia. Parts are easy to come by, mechanics are around. Great support for the category, so that's why they're so popular.
And we do thank our support for the category, and of course Porsche Cars Australia are adorned on all the 944 cars there as well, and a global super brand, you'd have to say, Porsche. So
and our wonderful sponsors for the production sports car racing, I should say, Callis, Kenny, Intellects Lawyers, blasted on all of the cars.
Excellent to have them on board, and while we're on it, a very big shout out this morning to LK Diesel Service as well, who are partnering up with the 944 category this year, and we thank them very much for their service. We look forward to seeing LK Diesel, Don Watson Transport, EJM Advice. Got a blue flag there. That just means that there's a faster car coming through, and you can see
that Audi through.
The 79 of Andy Tudor, who, as we mentioned, the West Australian driver. He's driven this car a lot over in Barbagallo Raceway. This is his first time in anger in the Audi R8 there, and you can just see him streaming down and taking full advantage of those long straights at Sandown.
And Jack, whilst it's not a brilliant aero track, the aero on this car sets it apart from all the other cars out there. He's got to trust that car going into those corners super fast. His brake markers are so much shorter. Great ride. Inside it feels like terror, but on the outside it just looks phenomenal.
Absolutely. You hit the nail on the head there, actually, as well. It's a very good point. I was talking to Andy Tudor, who very good friend, and I know, and well, that car to me looks like a spaceship inside, and he had that many flashing red lights. He had more flashing red lights than a Christmas tree on that car yesterday afternoon. So it's almost computer run, dare I say it. I mean,
it is like, well, it's like a spaceship inside, and it looks like a car, and it's got a steering wheel and 4 wheels, but driving it's anything but. You've got to take everything you know about driving a normal car, throw it out the window, and relearn. You've got to be prepared to be a student in these cars, and when you do, it rewards you every time.
Absolutely. Well said, exactly. Mark Verdino there just coming through on screen. Chris Lewis-Williams just ahead of Adam Brewer there in the black and red number 3 car. So just getting again passed by one of the Cup cars there as they head down these long straight. You'll get a fairly good slipstream advantage here at Sandown. It's one of the key areas that you've got to take advantage of.
Sorry, Jack, we've got Andy Tudor hunting down Andrew Smith here. He could have him under brakes on those corners, and you know, if he finds the trust in that car, he will. He'll eat that 997 alive.
Definitely. He's coming up to speed, Andy Tudor, and getting used to that Audi R8, as we said, and he's up against some stunning cars in the 911 Cup cars.
A lot of good drivers.
Yeah, and good drivers, exactly, too. They're very experienced campaigners as well. Great to see the Toyota 86 going around. Similar pace, slightly, maybe just off the pace of the 944s. We've certainly got some damage there on the yellow Pipecraft car. We send a big shout out to Tim Wolf.
Oh, here we go with Andrew Smith and Andy Tudor cutting through the 944s. There's a bit of a race going on here.
Traffic everywhere, exactly. But you will get
Fantastic.
traffic in different classes. Wow, Verdino had to go wide as they head over that fast turn 6 ripple strip as well. There's 37, the tyre power car of Chris Lewis-Williams, really trying to improve from yesterday. Andy Tudor just scything through the field.
Yeah, and it's a bit of a moment in those cars going over those ripple strips. You can unsettle the car, so you've really got to minimise how much you get on them. Because
Absolutely.
that aero is just working for you. If you lift it too much, you unsettle it.
Absolutely, it does unsettle the rear of the car. The curbs are quite high here at Sandown as well, so you've got to sort of use them as best as you possibly can. But
This is where Andy could totally
also
take
advantage.
Andrew.
Yeah.
Maybe he just doesn't have the confidence yet in the car. He should be using that brown gate as a marker.
He might get him, as you mentioned there, down one of those long back straights. He's in a great position here now as he moves up, and he's really going to take full advantage out of this turn 4. That's the dramatic shot that we all
And he's
love
close
here at
enough,
Sandown.
he's getting pulled along, which is great.
Exactly. He will. He'll take full advantage of that slipstream as they head up this long straight, and that Audi is absolutely moving. But it's a fantastic comparison between the beautiful Porsche car there versus the Audi car as well as they
Yeah,
head
you
through
wouldn't
turn 6.
you wouldn't want a black Audi in your rear view. It's pretty menacing.
Absolutely, it is a menacing looking car, but I certainly would not underrate that 911. By the looks of it, we're on the final lap there now. So, as we mentioned, a really stunning performance and a great comeback, if I may say, by Andrew Hall this morning. He had issues yesterday, but he's really setting the tone now, sitting on the 113 flat.
I need to give a shout out to Andy's sponsor, Panther Fuels. He loves those guys. They're running the 102 this weekend, so might be the edge Andy needed to get over Daniel.
We love Panther Fuels absolutely as well, and that could have given him just a little extra boost there, but he's certainly been the class of the field, and he's been
What a run.
a very experienced campaigner, a very controlled and highly experienced race car driver there, Andy Hall. We all know his experience. So as he heads down the bottom, what we call Dandenong Road, through the final kink under the bridge, it's a really commanding performance this morning. He is back in business, and he will take victory as he heads out of the final corner in race 2 of
Fantastic.
the Sports Car Championships. It's Andy Hall.
Well done, Andy.
Who will lead home yesterday's winner, Daniel Reynolds. And we've got
Steve Sluger in 3rd, Andrew Smith in 4th, Andy Tudor in 5th, Peter Lawrence in 6th, Robin Bailey in the 370Z in 7th. And then we're looking for Sal Imbrogno, who's come up 13th, and Miley Miller at the back of the pack. But hey, it's a finish, and it's her first time out at Sandown. It's fantastic.
Absolutely sensational. Great to have Miley with us this morning. Still raging battles on the final lap here of the Porsche 944 category as well. You're looking at Adam Brewer there, just ahead of the number 55 in the Aqua car, Cameron Balla, the 4-time champion. That's a close race, but out in front once again, commanding victory by the 2-time champion Jamie Westaway in the yellow and black car. He will again head home Mark Verdino, who is certainly having a great start to his season. They'll come home ahead of Chris Lewis-Williams, who completes the podium just ahead of the Black Widow Spider, Adam Brewer, and Cam Bella will bring home the top 5.
Oh, what a great race. And
Fantastic.
There goes Sam Imbrogno across the finish line.
Excellent
Fantastic
to
for the
see.
16-year-old.
Still got a number of finishes to come through the field regarding the 944 category. The M4 theirs has just crossed
Peter
the line as well. Torbert's is rolling around. Unfortunately had some issues there with an incident with Joey. We'll get a replay on that one. Tony Andrzejewski, the boss, as we call him, crosses the line there now, ahead of the orange car of Michael Westaway. Great to see Michael back in the category.
How good does that M4 look, Jack?
Yeah, stunning. And we'll run through the final results. So Andrew Hall, as we mentioned there, home by 2.9 seconds over Daniel Reynolds. Stephen Sluger.
Andrew Smith in 4th, Andy Tudor in 5th, Peter Lawrence in that lovely M4 GT4 in 6th, Robin Bailey in 7th, Jamie Westaway in 8th, Mark Verdino in 9th, Chris Lewis-Williams in 10th.
And that'll be the top 3 there in the 944 category. As we mentioned, 2 distinct classes in this.
Your money's got to be on Andy. There we
Hall and
go.
Reynolds get off the line. There we go. They're away. They're away in race 3. So as they stream down this long straight here at Sandown, everyone's trying to vie for that slipstream position.
And check out the brown gate. That's where their brake marker is for these 991s.
Absolutely.
To the left of screen.
Well
Oof.
done. Andy Hall looks like he's grabbed the
Nice
position.
and clean.
Reynolds is slotted into second there. Again, pretty much business as usual from this morning. Andy Hall, very experienced campaigner, and he takes the field lead into turn 3 and 4 as they head now up the back straight. Should see the 944 category just kicking off around about now. There we go. Jamie Westaway in the yellow and black car again leads the field through turn 1. Mark Verdino in the sideling car slots in behind him, and the reigning champion, Chris Lewis-Williams, hard under brakes there, coming under pressure from number 3, Adam Brewer, and Cam Ballard in the aqua car really wants to get the position early and does snatch that out of position, out of circuit number 4.
Yeah, elbows out, a little bit gently, but elbows out all the same.
Absolutely, yeah. They're still trying to get the temps up to the tyres up to temperature, I'd imagine, on lap 1. But already you can see just how fast these Cup cars are around this stunning Sandown racetrack. They're already heading into the final corner on the track, which is
It is worth noting, Jack, these guys are all owner drivers. So the racing is very clean. It's in their interest not to have the elbows out too much. Oh, and we've got Andrew Smith and Steve Sluger neck and neck.
Absolutely.
997 Andrew Smith and Steve in the 991. And you've got Andy Tudor up the back flashing the lights.
Absolutely. Andy Tudor in that stunning Audi R8, which is now heading up towards Sluger. And you can see there that Audi R8 is really menacing. He's come over from Western Australia, Andy Tudor, and as we mentioned earlier, has come out of the Porsche 944 category. So he's moved up to a higher spec there. Audi just going through the shot there. So fantastic to see that.
He had a bit of hiatus in that Audi R8 LMS. He hasn't been in it for 14 months before this weekend.
Exactly. Done a lot of racing over in Western Australia at Barbagallo. Mark Verdino now hard under the brakes, just nabs the position there ahead of Chris Lewis-Williams. You can just see how close this racing is in the 944 category. It's like this every time we go out and hit the racetrack, really, but it is such close racing in the 944 category. You can't afford to make the slightest mistake, because in a one-mate category like the 944 category, you're really going to lose time. And already you can see that a car 46 there has got a drive-through penalty for a start infringement. That's going back the field. That looks to me like we're not sure if he's either jumped the start there or rolled at the start. Jimmy Mitchell in the Porsche 944 category, number 46 category. So it's a shame for Jimmy to get that infringement earlier. How close is the racing as they head down the bottom of Dandenong Road? That is hard on the brakes, and they're literally nose to tail, nose to bumper as they go through that corner. Verdino leads from Lewis-Williams, the Baron of Benalla, as we call Chris Lewis-Williams, ahead of Cameron Balla. There's a lot of B's and a lot of Allas in that sentence there.
Tongue twister for you, Jack.
And the Black Widow Spider, of course, Adam Brewer, number 3, just slotting in behind him. They're really trying to take advantage of this slipstream. And there's a guy we've got to watch out for in the background as well, Joey Callock, who's come up the field as well.
Well, look, our guys are taking it seriously because lap 2 already and they're pulling the 113. So this is the not mucking around crew. Andrew Smith in that 997 is absolutely beautiful lines, got great defending from this morning. He's going to try and keep Steve off as long as he can.
Yeah, absolutely. And they want to get the drive out of that corner, out of the bottom of Dandenong Road, as we call it, down the bottom of that corner. You can see the Audi R8 menacing there in the background.
From Steve.
Big lock up there from Sluger as he's trying to really push home the advantage coming out of this final corner. They know they want to take advantage of the slipstream down this long straight. And
you watch this, Jack. They left that Audi for dead because they got a little bit more torque than the Audi, but under brakes, Andy Tudor should be creeping up on them super fast.
You would hope so, and you would think as well, there's 2 different tyre manufacturers with these classes of cars as well, which we should probably mention as well. You've got the Pirellis on the Andy Tudor RDR8, and you've got the Michelins, of course, on the Porsches, which are synonymous with that brand, and that will have an effect. They'll
can be hard to get temps into the Michelins, but the Porsches are great at getting temps up. And guys like Andy Hall, they're great at getting heat into the tyres early on.
Exactly. And we all know and love the Porsche brand, and they're synonymous globally with making stunning race cars, really. And you know, these cars actually, compared
they're meant to do this.
They are just in their natural environment, absolutely, aren't they? And when you look at the 2 cars, or the 2 categories effectively on track, it's not just Porsches. We've got Audi R8s and some Toyota 86 there. Joey Callock has unfortunately pulled over, I would say, by the looks of that. It didn't look like he's gone way off that wide. He was out in the car park there, Joey, so I'm not sure what's happened there. It looks like he may have gone off onto the grass, we're hearing from Stevie, and so that's the word we've got there. So he may have had a slide. He's unfortunately had an incident this morning as well. So it's been a pretty torrid weekend for Joey Culloch, and he had a pretty good season last year. He got Rookie of the Year last year, so that's a bit of a shame to get that campaign off to a somewhat disappointing start for Joey Culloch in the 1-800 Lasagna Cup.
Miley Miller left at bottom screen, coming through on that Toyota 86, doing well to hold her own.
Absolutely. She's in some really experienced company there, and it's got to be quite intimidating, quite daunting when you see the likes of Cameron Balla and Chris Lewis-Williams, who are multiple Porsche champions, coming at you in your rear screen if you're a 15, 16-year-old.
15-year-old Emma was not doing that, Jack.
15-year-old. No, exactly. You were saying how confident she was.
You have to be.
Absolutely.
These guys, I went and chatted to Sal and to Miley, and I asked, where do you want to be? And they said in the 26s, and I said, and after that, they wanted to win.
Yeah.
They're out on track with 991s and an R8 and these 944s, and they're still saying they want to win. It's great.
Nice to see Miley with the confidence already building up. That's what you've got to go into. Unfortunately, by the looks of it, Steve Sluger may be dropping down the timing charts. I'm not sure if it's a glitch on our NatSoft system, but Sluger may have had a incident there. We'll keep an eye on that one. At the moment, Andy Hall still leading that field and heading back towards the 944 category, just coming up against the Toyota 86 there, the black car, which we understand, and Em was speaking about earlier, is going to head into the Toyota 86 scholarship season this
Hopefully,
year.
fingers crossed. Whoa, that was a bit of a contact. Oh.
Absolutely, very close. It's stunning. Now, someone's lost some bodywork there. That is, wow, is that one of the Cup cars that has lost?
I thought it was a 4-4, but there's a bit of debris on the track there.
There's certainly some debris. No, that looks like Verdino. It is Mark Verdino pulling off. That is a real shame for Mark Verdino. He had a race win last year, and he's come up with 2 second places already this weekend. So that's going to be a big DNF for Mark. And in this category, it's pretty hard to come back after a DNF for the points system. So that is a real shame for Mark Verdino. And what it has done as well is it's opened the door for the likes of Cameron Balla and the veterans and the season campaigners of Chris Lewis-Williams and Adam Brewer to bank the points. And it can bite this place, Sandown. There is walls around. You've got to be careful.
Oh, it's very bitey.
Very bitey. It is bitey. You've got to give it respect.
And for all of those not in the know, the blue flags that are waving are just to let drivers know, to let the faster cars through that are coming up behind.
Exactly. And with different classes of cars, that's not unusual in any forms of motorsport. In fact, we were just looking at a Formula Ford race before, and you've got 2 clear classes and engines before. Let's have a quick look. Wow, let's have a look at a replay here on screen. Joey Culloch, by the looks of that, has had a serious incident against the wall. Well, I would imagine coming out of turn 12, this could be the incident here. That's Adam Brewer just getting close to the wall there as well. But it looks like Joey Culloch has clipped the wall. I would suggest either coming out of turn 12, because 13 is effectively a straight kink, and it's pretty flat to the boards in all these cars. So it's not really a corner. We call it corner 13, but it's corner 12 is effectively your last one. But that is a real serious incident for Joey Culloch, who has taken off the whole front right of that car. So that's a shame, and you never like to see that. Jared Campione is unfortunately falling down the timing sheets as well.
We're looking at Steve Sluger on track now with no one around him, so I'm not sure if he came to grief or...
Absolutely, may have certainly had an incident. We're trying to get some word on that at the moment. So he's definitely...
looking okay at the moment, maybe a little bit off pace, but looking all right.
Okay, let's have a look at the top of the screen here now as they get... Now there's Mark Verdino. He's just, wow, bang. He's got 2 wide coming out of turn 4. You can get up on that ripple strip on the right, and you are straight into the concrete wall there. So that's a real heavy incident for Mark Verdino in the number 44 sidling car. And again, a real shame because...
actually done well to get it out the way.
He has. Mark was having a great run so far, coming off a race win last year and 2 second places, as you mentioned, but it's opened the door to multiple champions. In fact, if you have a look at this, Emma, you've got the top 3 drivers there have, and I'm not making this up, 10 titles between them.
Yes.
In the 944 category. So you've got 2 to just watching that 9, no, that's 86 getting close to the wall as well. 2 titles to Jamie Westaway, 4 titles to Cam Balla, and 4 titles to Chris Lewis-Williams, all running nose to tail, first, second, and third.
I've got to tell you, that wall on turn 4 is making me nervous today.
Yeah, it can definitely get a bit slippery out on that ripple strip. I can absolutely ascertain to that fact. And you are very close to that wall, but they want to get the drive out of the corner all the way up this long back straight as well. Just with a few minutes to go, we want to send a quick shout out to LK Diesel as well. And thank you for their sponsorship. Very quickly, we've got a replay coming up on screen. Here's Verdino. Yep, bang. Oh, little bit, as we say in the game, that is suboptimal.
Ordinary.
That is.
He won't want to see every angle of that.
No, he will not, unfortunately. He's had a real good conversation with the Pertec wall down at number 4, and that's going to be pretty serious damage.
This is racing.
So that's a real shame. But just getting back to it, LK Diesel Service, we thank them very much for coming on board as a round sponsor. And we love all our partners, and great to see them adorned on all the cars. You can see Jamie Westaway again driving through that fast turn 1 with Cameron Bella in the Aqua car, Chris Lewis-Williams just sitting right behind, and Adam Brewer there, of course, as well, sitting just behind them as well as they head into turn 4. But it's
worth mentioning that Andy Hall has opened a gap of 14.8 seconds between him and Daniel Reynolds, but Daniel Reynolds has pulled the fastest lap in lap 4 of 1:13, so he's on pace. Andy just got a good start.
Andy, absolutely, a very experienced campaigner, one of the high-end, you would suggest, Porsche race car drivers in Australia, Andy Hall, and he has cleared out very, very quickly. But, of course, Daniel Reynolds is no slouch as well, and Reynolds picked up the win yesterday in race 1, so he's a high performer as well. He, as you mentioned there, Emma's picked up a 1:13.6, so he's not hanging around either.
Well, with the track temps in the UV, that's a decent time.
Absolutely, and of course you've got Andrew Smith and Andy Tudor there, really now getting into the flow with that Audi R8 as well.
Yeah, he seems to be closing the gap little by little on Andrew Smith, which is great.
Absolutely. Fantastic race up through the field, in the back of the field as well, as we look at the Porsche 944 stream across the line. There goes Andy Tudor, streaming and glistening in the sunshine as they head down this long front straight here at Sandown. Great to see Andrew Goldman there in the Porsche 944. He's coming under a little bit of pressure already from Andrew Hall, but Andrew Goldman is new to the Porsche 944 category. We welcome Andrew this year and wish him all the very, very best. He's mixing it against some of the top Porsche drivers in the country at the moment, so that's why he's getting the blue flag at the moment, but I'm sure he'll wander out of the way and have Andrew Hall pretty much, I wouldn't say sail past him, 2 completely different cars really. I mean, you've got a rear engine car on the 911 Cup car, you've got a front engine car, so different weight distribution, different tyres, different aero packages, of course.
I mean, look, these 991s, I mean, the Cup cars are made for it. This is what they do. They do it so well.
Yeah.
Every other mark in the world has tried to match them. They're just so well matched in this kind of racing.
They are effectively unparalleled. Big leap over the grass there for Jamie Westaway. He's come under real pressure as they've come down the end of the long back straight there from Cambella. Cambella is absolutely pushing very, very hard. Look at the top 4 guys here, separated by less than half a second. So you've got Jamie Westaway, who's taken out race wins in round 1 and 2. Cambella, who's had the podiums in the last couple of races, and Chris Lewis-Williams, the reigning champion. 10 titles between the top 3 guys over the past 10 years. So all 3 of these guys, and including Adam Brewer, who's now making up 4th position there, know how to win a race as well. Again, you've got the BMW in a different class of car.
This is Peter Lawrence's first race in that car. Fantastic efforts, kept it on track all weekend. No incidents, very clean.
Exactly.
And he's coming in 5th.
He's
Can't ask for more.
And doing real well. And again, it's great to see the guys relatively behaving themselves, I would say. You've got different makes and different classes of cars, different engines, different everything. So you've really got to be aware of all the other drivers all around you, coming at you, in front of you, let alone driving your own race. So there's a hell of a lot to think about and a lot going on. But at the moment, relatively clean.
I think a lot of people would look at owner drivers and the semi-conservative driving that they're doing. It's self-preservation. I think a lot of people judge it as not racing or sub-racing. But it is very much racing. These guys have full-on jobs, lives, families, kids, as I mentioned before, and they're doing this, and they want it on track by the end of the weekend and for the next round.
Absolutely, it's full-on racing. I can definitely ascertain to that. There's no doubt about it. You can see how hard the guys are pushing. Cambella heading out a little bit wide there out of Dandenong Road corner, because he's got Chris Lewis-Williams in the red, white and blue tyre power car, number 37, having a lunge, loves this position to overtake and gets the spot over Cameron Bella, who has been a little bit down on horsepower. I spoke to the king of Bella Motorsport himself, Andy Bella, who runs that operation. He did tell me this morning the car's been a little bit down on horsepower, so he's a little bit worried about this high-end speed down these straights, and that's where Chris Lewis-Williams has taken advantage but he's no slouch as well. He's the current reigning champion. He's a 4-time champion in that number 37 tyre-powered car.
Looked poised there for an aggressive move.
Yeah, he's taken advantage. And I mean, these guys are very experienced campaigners and they know this track very well. So by the looks of that, and looking at our timing screens there, and we're looking at probably last lap, I would suggest. And if you look at it there now, in fact, it's right across the line. No doubt about that one. Andrew Hall has had an emphatic victory in race 3 on day 2 of round 1 of the 2024 Sports Car Championship. Great to see Andrew back on track and winning pretty convincingly, you'd have to say, over Daniel Reynolds. Looks like Andrew Smith will take 3rd. Cutting back through the field, looking at the Porsche 944 Challenge Series, that is still raging at the moment as we head down the bottom of Dandenong Road. It's still Jamie Westaway who leads from Chris Lewis-Williams, number 37 car, as we mentioned. Cam Bella there now coming under pressure from Adam Brewer, who's really trying to have a dive with a couple of corners to go. But again, an emphatic victory, and it's 3 from 3 for the 2-time champion, Jamie Westaway, as he cruises towards the line, takes victory on day 2 of round 1 of the 2024 championships, home just ahead of Chris Lewis-Williams. Fantastic racing. Cam Bella does pick up the final podium position ahead of Adam Brewer.
What a great day of racing, Jack.
Sensational.
And
Exactly.
not bad for the combined categories.
Absolutely.
Just want to thank our sponsors for production, Sports Car Racing Victoria, Callis Kinney, Intellects Lawyers. Hopefully we'll have Sven Burkhardt's back on track when his knee's recovered, and Panther Racing Fuels getting us through the weekend.
Love, fantastic, great to have our partners with us very much. We thank them. We can't go racing without them. So just running through the results there.
Right, we got Andrew Hall coming in number 1, followed by Daniel Reynolds. Great weekend for Daniel. Andrew Smith in the 997 Cup car. Andy Tudor out in the Audi R8 LMS. Peter Lawrence in the M4 GT4. Robin Bailey in his 370Z Nissan.
Fantastic. Good to see Robin making it home there as well in that Nissan car. Getting into the 944 category, Jamie Westaway, as we mentioned, taking out 3 from 3 this weekend, so a stunning round of racing for the Westaway family. Chris Lewis-Williams home in seconds. Good to see his category, his campaign, I should say, off to a good start. Cam Bella home in 3rd from the Black Widow Spider. Adam Brewer, who rounded out the top 4. El Presidente, Mark Torbitz, came home there ahead of Salvatore.
Yeah, we got young 16-year-old Sal Imbrogno in 12th. Good luck for the rest of your year, Sal.
Exactly.
And Miley Miller in 13th. That's brilliant for both of them.
Fantastic.
So congrats, guys.
Well done. Home ahead of Richard Howe, King Richard as we call him, Tony Andrzejewski, Michael Westaway, Andrew Goldman. Great to see Andrew joining the category and having a good run. Stephen Slugan, we had a couple of DNFs, unfortunately, during that race. Just a very quick run through for our partners in this category. Porsche Cars Australia, we thank them, of course, for all their stunning support. LK Diesel Service, brilliant to have those guys on board. Don Watson Transport, EJM Advice, Campione Electrics, Stratton Finance in Hobart, we welcome them this year. 1-800 Lasagna, AVI Technology, 888 Home Loans, of course, who are our key sponsor for Victorian State Race Series. So great to have 888 Home Loans going round again. And don't forget, Pit Lane Clothing. If you need some great off-track apparel, head to pitlaneclothing.com and check them out. They're one of our category partners as well.